my name's Helena Murphy and I'm recording this video as part of my application form for Channel 4's Trainee Junior Research position. You've asked me to answer a few questions and hopefully you'll like my answers. I believe that Trainee is Channel 4's cheekiest programme. I've chosen a scripted piece over a panel show like 8 out of 10 Cats or a documentary like 15 Stone Babies because a script is written with a purpose. Its provocations are deliberate. Firstly, it's quite cheeky that writers Jessie Armstrong and Sam Bain chose to write about university students in the first place, considering they left in the 1990s. A lot's changed in the state of education over the last 20 years, and the concept could have fallen flat on its face. Luckily for them, students are still drinking, still having sex, and still avoiding essays. And it's the students, the characters, that offer the greatest level of cheekiness to the programme. The writers play with stereotypes, such as JP, the university snob, and Josie, the academically driven one. However, these characters go from stereotypes into fully formed people with motivations and needs. This use of childish characterisation, coupled with witty dialogue and slapstick comedy, present us with the notion that university is no longer the place for academic, stuffy individuals, but an educational playground where everyone can be involved. This concept in itself, although aided with visual examples such as the bizarre characters that populate the university, is cheeky, but the real cheekiness lies in its honesty. For many, university is no longer an educational beacon, but a place to come of age. And it's for this reason, the honesty, the characters, the dialogue and the comedy that makes me think that Fresh Meat is Channel 4's cheekiest programme. I've made a lot of decisions in my life, whether or not to go to university, whether or not to take up another job, whether or not to move to a different side of the country. But my most fearless decision happened when I was 8. Now I hate maths, and I'm sure I'm not alone in saying that, but as a child it was a real phobia. I hated that I couldn't understand it, that I couldn't do the work that my classmates were doing, and it used to make me feel very bad about myself. I was very insecure and I felt very stressed out when I went into a classroom and had to do maths. This wasn't the first time I'd seen a child struggle with a piece of schoolwork. My older brother, who's 18 months older than me, suffers from dyslexia, so I'd seen him going up the school and it getting recognised and him getting help. And it was my observation of him getting help which prompted me to go and talk to a teacher of my own. Now, I was in year 4 and my SATs were coming up, so I was very, very determined to try and do my best with maths, regardless of how bad it made me feel. So in the lunchtime, I went to see my maths teacher. Now this is quite a big deal for an 8-year-old child to take on responsibility for their education, particularly if it's something they're very afraid of and makes them feel really bad about themselves. But my teacher was brilliant. He explained to me that that wasn't a problem, that everyone struggles with maths sometimes, even he struggled with maths. And although I felt like I was going to cry, which obviously I would hate to do because that would be the most embarrassing thing in the world to do, I felt really reassured after our conversation. And it's this idea that just because you can't do something first time, it doesn't make you a failure, that I've kept with me for the rest of my life. If I've got a problem now, I do not hesitate to ask for help, and I know no one will judge me just because I can't do it first time. So my most fearless decision was to go to a teacher at lunchtime and admit I was struggling. Although an independent broadcasting company, Channel 4 has always been very aware of their public remit and have been since the 1980s. You produce informative, inspiring programmes, and unlike your competitors like ITV and Channel 5, you haven't fallen into a commercial rut and you don't rely on sponsorship deals and cheap entertainment programmes. From a viewer's perspective, you also seem able to fund those more challenging programmes about issues that are quite difficult to access, unlike the BBC, who can't do the same thing because of their licence fee. For me, Channel 4 accords with what I think television should be. It should inform, it should entertain, but it should also offer us perspectives of the world outside our own. We should be able to explore social and cultural and political changes in other parts of the world. And I very much enjoyed your Forethought series because it does this. It presents an audience with a snippet, a different perspective on the world, and it challenges them to think about what they think about it. I'd really appreciate the chance to join Channel 4 because I'd like to offer my perspective on the world as a young professional and as a young person. If you give me the opportunity to prove myself and allow me to learn and build on existing skills, I'd gladly take the opportunity with both hands. So, thanks for watching, and I hope to hear from you soon.